So here we are, coming across the entire United States of America, the conclusion and our hometown, temporarily hometown until we're back in Yerushalayim, in Los Angeles at the Pacific Ocean, as we crossed both from the Pacific to the Atlantic and back from the Atlantic to the Pacific, crying out the Malchus of Mashiach. As it says clearly by Mashiach, V'yerd miyam hayam, he will rule from sea to sea, Minar, and from the river Adaf Seyaretz across the entire world. As the Rebbe writes in a note, V'yerd miyam hayam, I mentioned it in the video by Kingman, that V'yerd miyam means the Atlantic, Ad Yam means until the Pacific, Minar, from the Hudson River Adaf Seyaretz across the entire world. So what does it mean regarding Mashiach that it emphasizes that his kingdom is going to be over the oceans? Or it simply means on the land that's between the ocean. But why is there an emphasis? I mean, Mashiach is going to rule the entire world. He's representing Hashem's kingdom. He's actualizing Hashem's kingship, Hashem's dominion over the world. Why is there an emphasis over the waters? Especially since the waters are inhabitable. Why would we even talk about the water? It's talking about land where Mashiach is ruling. But the idea is like this. Since the coming of Mashiach is dependent on our avodah, we create the Mashiach reality. The godly world of Mashiach is something that we're creating currently during the long period, during the time of exile, the time of darkness, is when we create Mashiach's world. So by us revealing our Mashiach, there's a spark of a Mashiach in every single soul, like the Sefer Ma'or Einayim says from the great Rav Nachum of Chernobyl, at the deepest inner point of every year, that's the Mashiach, as it says, Darach Koichav Yaakov, a star will shoot forth from Yaakov, that the star represents Mashiach Shabachol Echad Ve'echad. Each and every one of us has to bring our Mashiach to be the dominating force in our entire experience, in our entire existence. Our entire operational system has to be under the surveillance and under the dominion of Mashiach inside of us, which is the point of us that is inseparable from Hashem. And that's why it emphasizes miyam ad yam, from sea to sea, because this exists in the inner world of the human being. What is the sea? So there's a pasuk that says regarding the time of Mashiach, it says that there will come, in Zechariah, I think it says, in the days of Mashiach, the water will go out. There will be a water, Maayon yatzim beis Hashem, a Maayon, a spring will come out of the house of Hashem, out of the Beis Hamikdash. Chetz yom, half of it will go al Yama Kadmoini, to the eastern sea. The Chetz yom al Yama Achroin, and then half of the waters will flow to the latter sea. So when it mentions two seas, so Al Pipashtis, when the pasuk says Miyam ad Yam, it's referring to these two seas. What's called Yam HaKadmoini, the first sea, and the late sea. The first sea is representing the first Koyach HaNefesh in the person. It's the Koyach HaChochma, Yam HaChochma. In order for a person to live a godly life, to be permeated completely with a Lakus, you have to make sure first that you have a holy mind, you have a godly thought process. That your Koyach HaChochma, which is the first power of innovation, of the first direction of light in a person, is godly light, is holy light. And that comes obviously through learning Torah, particularly through learning Chassidus. You illuminate your Koyach HaChochma with Mashiach's light. Mashiach dominates your intellect, your mind. If your mind is not dominated by holiness, then there's no hope for the rest of the person's, everything follows the mind. From the mind will come the emotions. Emotions will translate into action. And then Yama Achrein, the last sea, is referring to action, Malchus, action, the final sea. That means that to be a godly being, it's not just enough to have a holy head. You also have a practicality. You have to live and express yourself in action, the poel mamish, in the literal sense, in a godly sense. That's what it means, miyam ad yam, from sea to sea. But that's not enough, because that's the inside world of a human being. It's not enough for a person to be godly in his own self. A person also has to be godly regarding the world outside of him, with the intention that it's our responsibility to bring holiness to the outside world. And that's the meaning, min nohar adaf seyaretz. What's the nohar referring to? It's referring to the nohar that goes out of Eden, lahashke sesagam, where the intention is to going out of the garden. The garden represents the entire world. The world is a garden of Hashem. As it says, the Basi Legani, Hashem calls this world a garden. That means that there has to be intention and focus, not just to live a godly life yourself, but also to influence Minar from the river that's Yotzei Me'eden, goes out from that secluded holy place, and also expresses itself to the outside as we say, ad afsei oretz. And when we have that focus, we merit the Mashiach who will rule miyam ad yom uminor ad afsei oretz.